I keep pressing on them.
Okay. So as you're continuing on nomenclature with your ridiculous perception, a couple of others of you have ridiculous passive perceptions, don't you?
A little bit. I know Cathexis and I have the same one.
It's 19, right?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. So you guys,
and Daergram. I think Daergram has a really good passive perception too.
16.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys, any of you guys above 15, basically everyone except Ozone, hear a faint, like, sort of howl in the distance off to your northwest. So,
from my previous roll, the Arcana check, would I know that to be an ancestor worm?
No, it sounded like a wolf.
Oh, would I know that it's... Could I guess Arcana or History check?
You can roll like Arcana, Nature. I would recommend Nature since your initial idea would be that it's a wolf.
Not Addison's.
Huh?
Not Addison.
I'm confused.
Addison is thinking Lethari.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So you could try Arcana.
13.
It sounded like a really. It sounded like a big wolf. You don't know if that's necessarily a Lethari. You don't really know a lot about the Lethari. Um, uh, Other than the fact that they can shapeshift between elven and wolf forms. It's possible that those are Lethari.
To everyone else that heard it, like acknowledgingly.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my hands on the edge of the cauldron with my eyes peeking over it, and I just start nodding, and I go, yep, did it sound like a big ass wolf? Did it sound? Can I do like an insight to see if it sounded like the howl that Lenny and them did earlier?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, let me just do the dash. Non-natural 20.
Okay. Just from a directional standpoint, your knowledge of wolves is that wolves are territorial. One of the things you know about wolves is that they're fairly territorial and they kind of like hold their own areas and hunting grounds. The howl that you heard when you were traveling with Lenny was coming from behind you. This one is coming from sort of in front of you into the north. So you're thinking possibly that this may be a different group of wolves, either that or these wolves have a really large hunting area.
Okay. Well, was it one howl?
You heard, you did hear one howl.
Okay. So I turn to them and I go, well, normally when wolves spot their prey, even if it's just a few wolves, they'll do this thing. I can't really remember the name of it, but basically they throw their voice and it echoes and it sounds like there's many of them rather than just one or two or three. So I don't think they know we're here. They might be pursuing something else, but we should stay on guard.
Could you tell if the howl was distressed or more hunting? Like, could you gauge what the howl signifies?
It seems like a territory thing.
Yeah.
I say we just stay vigilant and press on.
I mean, we took down a fucking cloud giant, so I think we'll be okay with some fucking wolves.
I don't think they're regular wolves, and remember, we have whatever is just petrifying the woods around us. They could be the same thing, they could be enemies, they could be allies.
I see where you're coming from, but those sounded like wolves.
They sounded off to me.
So, this time you guys hear a set of howls, somewhat closer. These howls sound different though. These howls sound different though. Like the other one was sort of solitary and mournful. These howls that you just heard seem to be almost like playing off of each other, and they were more excited. It was more of an excited howl.
I know, well,
again to the north.
closer.
Again to the northwest. What happened?
I say to the group, well, that was certainly closer.
Yeah. Right after you hear the excited howls, you hear that first howl. You hear that first howl again, the singular howl. Now that howl sounds excited as well, but it's still the same distance away. That one seems further.
Yeah, I look at the rest of the party and I go, yeah, this seems like a whole lot of fuckery. What do you guys want to do? If we keep pressing forward, we're gonna hit these wolves eventually.
Well, you guys are heading west. These sounds are coming from the northwest.
Yeah, I say we just keep going west.
All right. Push on, boss person.
I agree. Let's go west.
Mm-hmm. So as you guys continue heading west, you continue to hear the more excited howling, combined with some yapping and then a few sort of yelps. Still to the northwest, and you hear sort of the response cry of the more plaintive howl. That one is getting closer, not necessarily to you, but to the to the other group of howl right over here.
Okay. I go. All right. It seems like they're communicating. Maybe we should try to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I like double time it.
I tap the side of the cauldron and point forward.
The cauldron does nothing because you're not good fixers.
I tap harder.
It just stops.
It slowly tips over front end, and then eventually, without letting you out, turns completely upside down, so now it's dragging you along the ground.
So now he's just walking, and there's a cauldron floating above his head. Above his whole torso.
I hate you dudes. I hate all of you. Okay, so as you're heading, you still hear this. You still hear this sound, and the commotion. It keeps kind of it keeps kind of getting louder. It's still somewhat of a distance away, but you get the sense that you're probably at your closest point to it before you start to bypass whatever's going on. And it seems to be probably about, I would say, if you were to, do any of you want to roll for it?
What would it be?
I would say still survival. Maybe if you want, you could do. Investigation if you're better at investigation.
12. Yeah, it's the same either way for me.
Okay.
Survival and investigation.
Okay. Okay. So the noises don't actually seem like they're that far away. You're thinking Addison and Nomenclature. You're thinking 200 to 500 feet, max.
Does it sound like there's any sort of like aggression going on, or it just sounds like excitement?
So what it sounds like is aggression. You hear barks, whines. You hear barks, whines, growls, howls. All paired with this one larger, with this one sort of like larger plaintive accompanying howl and that same excitement, but one of them definitely sounds more substantial than the others. And it's not really like there doesn't seem to be a counterpoint to it. So it's interesting that you're hearing wolves being aggressive with nothing being aggressive back. Like there's no sort of sounds of distress or anything of that nature. You just hear the wolves being distressed.
I look at the rest of the party and I go, so maybe this stone shit is fighting them, or maybe they're fleeing the stone shit?
Well, from what you can ascertain, the wolves seem to be somewhat holding their ground. Like they haven't moved. You guys have moved.
Okay.
How
So
you closer to them?
Yeah, this is definitely a territory thing, but the fact that we don't hear a response, that's what's fucking with me, guys. That's what's fucking with me.
Yeah, that's my thought as well. It seems almost like there might be a bit more intelligence to this, which, well, I don't, but it might behoove us to investigate.
Or we could just keep going and hope for the best.
The only reason I am even considering it is just they might be more than wolves, and they might be potential allies or people that we need to gain the favor of.
Like fucking werewolves?
Sort of. Are shapeshifters, but not in the typical way that druids are.
So they're lycanthropes.
No, exactly. Not lycanthropes. It's not a curse. It is an innate ability. Very similar to a druid. A druid changing. The Lethari people are wolf and elf. They can shift between both forms pretty naturally, regardless of whether they take the path of druidicism or withdrew.
Well, first of all, funky. Second of all, still dope though.
Yes, and we will need a Lethari arch or the right.
Alright, let's fucking gear up.
Addison is so hesitant.
Nomenclature like cracks his knuckles and cracks his neck, and he's getting
Dead.
ready for some fuckery. Yes, he drops dead because he broke his bones.
So,
I just asked what the others think.
Sounds like dangerous stuff out there. Have to be ready. Like, I'm already stretching out the shoulders, like knowing that.
So when Addison looks at everyone, everyone's like almost like readying themselves for battle. Is that what's going?
I guess
I'm
so.
just,
that's what
I'm
it
just-
sounds like.
I'm just standing there looking at everyone. Alright, yeah, guess we're going.
All right, I start heading in the direction of the yelps and howls.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are you taking any precautions? Or are you you just kind of charging in?
I send Simone ahead, and since I'm sitting in the cauldron and I don't have to walk, I'll look through her eyes.
All right. So,
I'll cast Mage Armor.
how is Simone flying?
Not terribly low to the ground, but under the trees.
So, give me a height.
Like 12 feet off the ground.
12 feet off the ground. Okay. All right. So what you see is as Simone is flying through the woods. As you get closer, like obviously the sounds are getting larger. The sounds are getting louder. And you also start to hear. Now you start to hear a sort of soft voice as the counterpoint to the loud howls and screeches. And what you hear is you hear this creature saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just want to get through. Just please let me through. I don't understand what happened. I didn't mean to do it."
I go, guys, quick. So something is talking to the wolves, and they are apologizing. The wolves are mad. I'm not sure what we're walking into.
God damn it.
So do
I,
you have Simone fly further?
Can she perch on a tree since I'm within earsight? Can I see them through her?
How close do you have to be to see through her eyes? 120 feet?
I'll double check. But yeah, it's a good range.
Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly from Addison, it's 100. From Astrid, it's 120.
I can give it. I can see and hear what it hears. I can see through its eyes and hear what it hears while it's within 100 feet of me.
Okay. And does your new class, does that augment that in any way?
No, that's what it allows me to do. It allows me to see and hear through her eyes.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
I couldn't do that before.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you have to be 100 feet away from her, so you have to sort of travel with her, because this is about, say, around 500 feet away. So you have to kind of like inch closer to this.
I go, if we keep going, Simone can scout for us, but we need to get a little closer.
I tell everyone to get close to me while we keep moving.
Okay.
And I'll throw Dust of Disappearance on all of us.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
So we're all invisible.
All right. So you're all invisible. Simone is flying up ahead. Um, as Simone gets closer, what you see through Simone's eyes is you see what looks like a pack of midnight black wolves with blazing red eyes, howling and gnashing their teeth and yelping and sort of very distressed animal. And in front of them is a stone wolf, frozen dead in place.
I go, Addison, describe the Lothari to me.
That's just how long that doesn't disappear.
Okay.
Rounds?
Well, the Lothari differ in appearance, just like all elves, and their wolven forms do as well. But they typically, when they wild shape, are more on the end of dire wolves than regular wolves.
Would you describe them as black with red eyes?
I wouldn't say that they would be that menacing, unless it so happened to be that that particular Lothari had black skin with red eyes.
Well, we're looking at about how many did you say before?
There's about a pack of there's 11, and then there's the one that's stone.
We're looking at about a dozen of what I just described, and one of them is turned to stone. I don't see what turned them to stone yet.
You do.
I do.
You do. You didn't let me finish. In front of the stone wolf, probably about I would say 20 feet away from it, is about what looks like a human-sized slug with a sort of featureless human face with no eyes. And this thing, this slug, is trying desperately to get away from these wolves. It's trying desperately to move itself away from these wolves, but every time it sort of moves away, one of the wolves kind of jumps in its path, and it's not something that seems to move very fast. You notice through Simone's eyes that the path behind this thing is stone.
I go, there's a man-faced eyeless slug with stone slime.
Even worse than I thought.
Can we just keep going?
The problem with this is I believe that those wolves might be the Lothari, but that the stone creature is a creature. It doesn't mean harm.
Yeah, that's nice, but I feel like we're gonna get in the middle of some real shit. I mean, if you guys want to keep moving forward, we could just watch it for a bit. Because if I can study it, I might be able to, disarm them. Not physically, but
Yeah,
mentally.
let's give it another minute. Tell me what you hear and see.
So what you notice is that every time one of these wolves gets close to this slug-like thing, it sort of kind of jumps in to sort of block its path. Anytime one of these wolves gets close, it yelps in distress and then pulls back. And you notice it doesn't touch the slug. It just sort of gets close, yelps in distress, and then pulls right back. And usually when it pulls when it pulls away, it's moving slower than it was previously for a while, almost like almost like something's trying to like take a hold of it. But then once it moves away, it shakes it off and it tries to jump back in again. And you notice this kind of repeating pattern in what's going on.
All right. So new information. Slugman thing causes pain upon proximity, so the wolves can't actually attack it right now.
And the other thing you notice is that every time one of the wolves comes close to it, and you can see that it causes pain, that this slug-like thing, it apologizes profusely.
So you're absolutely right, Addison. The creature is trying to cause no harm, but the wolves are not allowing that. The wolves are literally hurting themselves to try to fuck with this creature, and kind of blaming it on the creature. So we could try to save both parties.
Daergram, what are you doing with all this information?
Addison said something, but it was completely cut out through the audio.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, you guys be back up, hang back. I'm gonna see if I can try to handle it.
Alright, I'm gonna get closer. I'll come with you since, we're kind of invisible. But
yeah, just don't break the
Yeah. I was gonna let you do your thing and then, join in if you needed it.
Yeah, so and then I like run forward and I guess I yell out in Elven to stop.
Wait,
hold on. Try that again.
Oh, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I yell out in Elven stop and I draw my sword and kind of like cut a tree and move break invisibility.
Oh, okay. So they voluntarily ended their invisibility by attacking a tree along the way.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
And you
so
got
Elven to cast the spell.
All right. So you yell in Elven. So you cast what spell?
Oh no! I tree like end the invisibility.
Okay.
He was ending the spell.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So all of you pop out of invisibility.
No. It's just him.
Oh,
Or just
so it doesn't. So it's not doesn't count as like one use for everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's dust. So all of us are affected by invisibility until it wears off, or we attack something.
Cool. All right. So so when you make yourself seen, the wolves sort of jump back, and this what you know as an ancestor worm, Addison, sort of kind of recoils a little too, and goes. The ancestor worm bows its head and just says, "Please, I don't want to hurt anybody." And the wolves sort of howl, I guess, angrily, in a way, because they're looking at a creature that, well, you don't know why they seem angry. They look at you and they seem angry, but they stay wolves. You do, however, notice that there seems to be a level of intelligence in these wolves that normal wolves would not exhibit. In the sense that, like, when they all howled, the largest wolf sort of kind of bumped noses, like kind of bumped the smaller wolves in the side with its nose to kind of like urge it to the side, and sort of took place directly in the front and stood there, which is something that, like, it sort of looked like a move, sort of like, stand aside, I'll handle this, if it were humanoids doing it.
Yeah.
So that kind of struck you as odd.
Yeah,
And-
so I look to the ancestor worm and say, I understand. Be calm. The situation will be handled. And then I look to...
They just need to move away. I didn't mean to turn into stone. He came too close. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I understand. Don't worry about it. So one of the wolves is stone, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking at something. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was the audio cutting out or what.
Yeah, I'm just looking at something just really quickly. I say in Elven to the wolf, this creature is benevolent. It does not know what it does.
So when you say that, the one in the front stands up on its hind legs, and sort of transformation takes over it. And what you see in front of you is a black-skinned, white-haired, mostly naked elf female, with a skull headdress on her head, and blazing red eye.
Yeah.
And she says, and she looks at you, and she says, "What predator listens to what their prey says?"
One that hopefully respects authority and expects to survive.
What authority do you have over me?
The authority with which I speak is of the forest itself. This is an older, wiser, and benevolent creature. You are hunting it, or you are harming it against its will.
This creature is an abomination. It's unnatural and an intruder on my hunting grounds.
Question. Invisibility won't end if I speak, right?
No.
It won't end if you speak, but they'll know that there are people hiding.
Yeah. Well, first I summon Simone back to my shoulder.
Mm-hmm. And, just so I'm aware, give me a distance that you guys are approaching this altercation.
I am, maybe 10 feet behind, Addison. I don't know about everybody else.
Alright, and Addison,
I went ahead with them.
Okay, that's fine. How about the rest of you guys?
I'm about 40 feet away.
Did you, stay with Addison and them, or no?
Or no.
Or no, okay. Daergram?
No, that was me. I was being a dickhead.
I too am next to Krzysztof.
Krzysztof? Okay. Ozone?
I think we all just got a little curious, right? So we all just started following after. So yeah, I would be sort of inching forward, but trying to make sure that that we were following Addison's sort of request to stay back.
Well, yeah, just to make sure that you heard me, I said I was 40 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you. 40 feet away. And Addison, how close did you approach this altercation?
I'd say I'm probably about 10 feet away from them.
10 feet away. Okay, so give me a Constitution saving throw.
I didn't get close to the worm.
Yeah, 10 feet away from the entire altercation, the entire group.
Okay. How close would you say you're to the worm?
I'm staying away from the worm. I'm trying to get closer to like the wolves. So I would have approached them from where like the wolves are kind of, because I assume that they have like a perimeter around the wolf.
Right.
Around
So you
the worm.
approach. So you approach them from like behind.
Yeah, the outside of the wolf
Yeah,
circle.
because I would have wanted to give the worm a wider berth since I know that it can petrify with an aura.
Okay. All right. Cool. So,
I'm sorry. What was the last thing you said? What did the female elf say to Addison?
This is their hunting ground, and this creature is unnatural.
it's our hunting ground. This creature is unnatural. It's trespassing. That kind of gist.
Yeah. So from the invisibility, I go. You guys are elf wolves, and you have the nerve to say that this thing's unnatural?
You hear a growl from everyone.
Even Addison. Addison is so fucking pissed.
Yeah. You hear, and you didn't reveal yourself, correct?
Nope, I'm still invisible.
So it looks at you. The elven woman looks at you, said, and narrows its eyes and said, "So the food comes with honeyed words and friends hiding behind their backs with daggers."
First of all, if you could see me, I don't have a weapon in my hand.
You hear more. You hear more growling, and you see that some of the wolves start sniffing the air.
Yeah, you stupid fucking idiot.
I'll slap the ground so I reappear.
Yeah, I just look at you. Since you're so smart and since you completely just disregarded everything I said, you handle the situation then. And I just like walk away from Gnomenclature.
Nomenclature scratches his head and just goes, "Well, we all want the same thing here. We want this guy thing. I'm sorry, are you a guy?" And I'm talking to the worm.
I am neither.
Alright, this being to be off your land, and we want your wolf pal to no longer be stone, I think we can all come to an agreement here.
And then, so she kind of looks at you and sneers, and she said, "What agreement, appetizer?"
You guys let the creature go, and we will figure out how to unstone your dude.
We do not let things go that harm our own. We kill them.
Yeah, that's unhealthy.
Daergram, what are you doing?
Chilling in the back, watching him fuck up with the group.
Right. So you
Doesn't sound
notice,
very redeeming.
Yep.
you notice that while all of this is going on, the more agitated the confrontation gets, that your shield starts pulsating with light.
Oh, okay. Is it so bright that it gets me out of invincibility?
No. Like it's not. Yeah, you see it. It's sort of like a spiritual light, we'll say.
Okay.
So you feel it pulsating with energy, and you're not exactly sure of what that means, but you figure. Well, give me an insight roll.
$15.
15. You're not exactly sure what your shield wants you to do, but you feel that it wants you to do something.
Okay. I will I'll put it on. I guess whatever attunement it needs to be doing to me. And then, until I see any kind of violence, I'm just gonna chill.
You said you do what?
Until I see any kind of actual violence, I'm going to chill for now.
Okay. All right. So the more this goes on, you're just going. What you see is just like like sort of an escalating, kind of pulsating light that's coming from it. But we'll move on. So, Cathixis, what are you doing?
Doing anything.
What? You said nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Is
Okay.
the mountain.
This is a whole lot of not my problem.
Oh, I can't.
Not yet.
I have to agree with that as well.
Ozone.
So, honestly, it's like at this point I do see that there's like an escalation there, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
but thing is, at the same time, yeah, I could only make the situation worse, but I'll at least whisper to the to the. I guess it's just the three of them near me, the two of them near me.
Actually, yeah, when you're done, I got some.
It's like things are getting pretty heated there. Think this is gonna end in a fight? I'll say
Me?
it to Daergram and Cathixis, yeah.
I don't think it's gonna end in a fight.
I don't answer.
It sounds pretty bad. So, what I'll do is actually, if I'm still invisible, I'll actually, I'll use my flight, for the day, I guess, and just rise up in the air and
Mhm.
stay invisible for what it's worth, and then and just sort of observe from there. So I'll say I'm, I guess same distance, right? So like 45 feet in the air, but like closer in the sort of sphere above them. So closer to where Addison and Nomenclature were.
Okay.
Above them. Yeah.
I'm assuming Addison is within 30 feet of me.
Addison is. Well, you say stay 40 feet away.
Well,
Yeah, she walked away from Nomenclature.
Yeah, I moved closer to where they were just because I walked away from where Nomenclature was because I was just so frustrated.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. In that case, I'll communicate with Addison. Can this slug... What can this slug turn to stone?
Anything it comes near.
Including metal?
Organic matter.
Yeah, I kind of like quizzically look in the direction I imagine Cathixis is in, and just say, I think it has to be something living.
So we have a way of moving it safely.
That's smart.
We do. The issue is
Convincing
that
them.
one of their own has been turned to stone, and I'm not sure if the doctor has the capability of being able to heal something that's been petrified yet.
I'll communicate now with Dr. Daergram. Can you turn stone to flesh?
No, that's more of the arcane side.
What
You don't
spells?
have restoration?
What spells?
Yeah, I
do
was
you
gonna
have?
say.
Well, let me see if Lesser Restoration does that.
Lesser
Just tell me
restoration
what spells
doesn't.
you. Tell me what spells you have.
All of them?
You fucking idiot.
No, the clerics get all of them. Well, I haven't prepared is a different story.
Alright, on that note, I think it's time to end the session. Because it's almost 10.
Yep. You can.
Oh,
Lesser Restoration, you touch a creature and can end either one disease or one condition afflicting it.
yeah.
The condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Yeah, not petrified. That's why I was trying to ask if it was restoration.
Oh.
I would say, like, in this case, that would be fine. That will work.
Oh, lesser restoration will work?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, I could have done that.
Yeah.
Would you look at that? We can resolve this in 5 minutes.
But will we?
Dun dun dun.
Probably
Okay.
not.
The wolves is stone. That thing is freaking out and everyone's yapping at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I look and I finally just turn around and just stomp over towards where like the lead Lithari is.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your people to back off and I'll fix your friend.
When you do that, the sort of the rest of the pack kind of growls and starts snarling.
Yeah, I roll my.
You completely cut out. We
Oh,
heard.
I roll
Roll your
roll my eyes and I sigh and just sit.
Almost had it.
You sigh and
Grow
and
up.
say,
I say
grow up.
grow up.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I cast a large person.
Make an intimidation check.
This ought to be good. Do.
25.
Woo!
Damn.
So the elf doesn't look frightened in the least bit, but there's a sort of level of respect that kind of comes over its face that you would have, I guess, the balls to it. Basically, these things see you as prey, and you're basically standing. It would be like a gazelle standing up to a lion.
Yeah,
So-
this entire time I haven't looked at the other things. I'm staring her straight in the eyes.
Yeah. So there's a level of respect that kind of that it kind of comes down to, and she takes a step away, and she looks at the other Lithari who are still like growling and gnashing their teeth, and she roars in her elven form, and they all fall silent and sit.
I would like to start playing X Gon Give It to You, but replace it with ads.
No.
Inspiration?
I'd go give it to you. Sure. Why
Yes.
not? There's 5 more minutes left. Why not?
Yeah, so I look at her. You done?
Ooh.
So she raises one eyebrow and she says, "Don't push it."
Tell them to back away from it.
Well, when she roared, they all sat.
Yeah.
And
So
stopped barking.
yeah, so I walk over towards the petrified one. I look to the ancestor worm. Would you mind just taking a few, I guess, slithers back?
And it sort of backs away, and it, as it's backing away, it keeps apologizing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
I
it.
understand.
And it keeps backing away as
Yeah.
it's doing that.
Yeah, and then I hold out my hand like to stop where I feel like it's gone far enough. Like, bitch, calm down.
Stop
Mhm.
groveling.
Yeah, and then I'll cast Lesser Restoration on the petrified wolf.
Okay. So, so roll an Arcana check to pair with the Lesser Restoration.
I really hope this works.
Yeah, me too.
Ozone goes up to the slithery thing while they're doing that and just says to it, like, not even breaking invisibility, like, you should
So-
get out of here.
Can
So hold on one second. So you feel the magic sort of taking hold, but it doesn't really. It doesn't really. It doesn't really help as much as you were thinking.
May I say something?
You think what happened?
When I started playing XCOM Give It to You, could that be in Bardic Inspiration?
Yeah, that's fine. I brought it.
Add a D8 to that. I meant to say that before, but people were talking and I was trying to find the place.
So I got a 17 total.
Okay. So so you feel that this should be working, but and you feel the magic kind of taking shape, but it's not helping. It's still not helping as much as you want it to. Like, you start to notice that it's turning back to flesh, but not fully. You feel so from what you know of ancestor worms, like, you know, they're undead, but sort of from a sort of semi-divine-ish source.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel that maybe the arcane magic that you're using is not really 100% suited to the task. It's helping, but you need help.
Yeah, I
We
say
need somebody
doc.
in the party.
I say doctor. I need you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hesitantly go up to the area.
Okay. Basically, do you have any restoration spells prepared?
Yes, I do.
So, lesser or greater?
Lesser.
Alright, so you're going to use your lesser restoration and do the same thing Addison did and roll it along with it. Well, actually, no, you'll roll a religion with yours.
$16.
Okay, so when you do this, you sort of your shield on your back flares up, and the shield flares up, and your hands start glowing. Addison's hands start glowing, and you feel the magic between the two of you link.
Damn.
In a weird way that you've never experienced before, and then the stone sort of melts away, and the creature kind of turns back into a wolf and collapses.
I didn't do that, I swear.
Well, I mean, you did.
I didn't make him collapse. It wasn't me, no. It was... I just got rid of the stone.
Stop it! Now you sound like the worms.
So, so it collapses. When it collapses, the wolves get up and they start growling and yapping excitedly. One rushes over to it and starts, like, kind of nosing it. And when she noses it, the wolf turns. The second wolf turns into an elf. Same kind of features. Dark hair. White hair, black skin, red eyes, and it sort of it shakes the third wolf to kind of try to get it to kind of like come back, and then you hear sort of like wheezing sound coming from the wolf. So the wolf is back, but it's not at 100%. It's kind of like, weak.
I guess I can go ahead and throw a cure wounds on it.
Okay.
So about that agreement.
Huh?
No, I say that to the wolf lady.
That's what the wolf says. Huh?
Yeah. We friend let the thing go. Cool.
So these the wolves and the two elves start to growl, but they nod. The two elves nod, and the wolves kind of back off.
Yeah, I look to the ancestor worm and say, "You're free to go. Just make it quick."
And watch your step, or
Just get the hell out of here quickly and safely, please.
that.
And the thing bows its head and says, thank you, and starts to sort of like slowly meander away into the night. And you hear the Lithari from behind you say, and stay out of our land.
Yeah, I look to her and then I'm just kind of like, yeah, that too.
And then so then that's what happens. I guess we'll end here because what happens after this will be a little more complicated. So we'll end here. Hopefully we can find a day to maybe complete this. Like maybe I can take a day off of practice and do a session.
Yeah.
So we can we can wrap this up because we left it in a very weird place. But I know you have to go to bed, so we'll end here. Everyone take a base 1,000 experience just for what happened tonight, because I know there wasn't any combat, but I do actually want to give you experience for the ancestor worm.
Can I add one last thing, since I prepped this like 7 sessions ago and have not been able to use it?
Oh my god, yeah, go ahead, what happened?
I take a rock out of my pocket and like lightly chuck it into the air, and when it hits the ground, it activates Magic Mouth, and the rock goes, combat avoided.
What is wrong with you?
I pressed that like 6 or 7 sessions ago, and we have not avoided any combats, so I have not been able to do it.
Why? I can't. I don't know. Oh my god.
Do I get extra experience for killing the DM?
You do. You get. Well. You do. You get an extra 100 experience. 100 whole experience.
Yay.
So, the ancestor worms. God, where are their stats? I know they're here somewhere. Well, it's a fucking shit ton. So, take, let me see what challenge rating 16 is in 5e.
That worm is a challenge rating 6.
Yep, ancestor worms are challenge rating 16.
15 is 13,000 XP.
13,000?
For level 15.
What?
For challenge 15, it's 13,000.
Nice.
So we'll do 14,000. 14,000 divided by 5, 2,800.
Would it be for all CR16? Because there's actually 15,000.
What?
It's actually 15.
15,000?
Yeah. For 16.
Okay, divided by 5. So 3,000 each, actually. So each of you get 4,000 experience. For this encounter. Alright, I guess that's where we'll end it. I will see which Monday I can take off of rehearsal so we can finish this up. Because I don't want to leave it. But for now that's it.
Alright. Well, have a great night, guys.
Good night.
Night.